Alright, Life Volume 2. Okay, I like this naming convention. It sort of works, I think. So I'm going to stick with it and probably add some. Anyway, so I'll go through a list of things I have to take care of business here, because I'm not corresponding with anybody. So the tree, she has the thing about no friends and all that stuff, and that's fine, and however you want to work it is fine, so yes, I guess is the answer. Art lover, I was kind of disappointed you took on your video. It wasn't that bad. First videos are tough, really. First few are tough. They do get easier, and then they get hard again, and they get easy again, and they get, well, anyway, don't worry about it. It was a good video. Oxy, yeah, I watch your videos, don't worry, I don't comment. It's okay, you'll get used to that. Yeah, glad you got into uni. Alright, now the people who respond to this video, really good responses. Thank you for all of them. They're long and really good. So I guess I'll just run down them real quick. Lima Lima, whatever. Yeah, I hope you feel better, and you are still a bit of a bitch. No, I mean, you're really still protecting. You're very protective, very defensive, but yeah, sorry you're not feeling too well. Nicholas, Nick, whatever it is, Nick guy. Really good video. I saw some of your other videos, so yeah, we'll have to do some arguing on the economic stuff. So I'll do a video after this, just engaging in a little philosophy on economics. But yeah, good video. Jay, yeah, it's the God thing, but I'm really going to try to be unoffensive here. I mean, I am a fanatical atheist. I mean, I really do see religion as psychologically destructive and all that crap. But I see no need to engage in that agenda here, at least now. So, I mean, yeah, it's not important to the subjects I want to sort of just communicate with people on this level. It's half philosophy and half psychology and half just trying to figure out, well, how do you be a human? How are you doing it? So this is a more engaged conversation, less dogmatic, that's not the right word, less rigid in its philosophical positioning. Let's put it that way. Your names are worse than Amendum. Yeah, the personality thing. Yeah, I've heard of all that. I never took it because I don't like it's just too arbitrary. These 5 questions will decide whether you're a this or a that, and maybe you eat French toast and not real toast, and I don't know, some little arbitrary thing will throw you into one category from another category, and I don't see the point in it, really. Like I said, it's good. It's helpful to some people just for introspection purposes. They can say, okay, now I see what I am, kind of a thing. But I guess I'd almost argue that I was doing that really young, so I already knew what kind of asshole I was. I was really good at seeing the dumb parts before I saw the smart parts. But anyway, good video. And again, topical tuber, really good video. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try not to be offensive. Try not to be a jerk, and we'll see how it goes. But I like the airplane thing. We're like the little engine that could. We're faced with this thing called life and few tools, and we got to somehow figure out how to chug ourselves up over this mountain of bullshit. Alright, so on to Volume 2. We're just going to sort of deal with, who knows, no, the future. The way I see it, look, all humanness is humanness, okay? There's 7 billion humans. They all have the basic ingredients. They feel, they want, they need, they have their own assets and deficits and all that kind of stuff. But in the end, they're a feeling organism. I'm not going to say we're all just cats, or we're all just dogs, or we're all just turtles, but in a way, it's all the same thing. I mean, certainly there are exceptional humans and rather unexceptional, crazy bastard humans, but it's all basically the same design. And if you were going to make a decision about any other group of things, you know, how they were going to interact in a circumstance, if you were going to be playing God, you wouldn't be too concerned with individuals. You'd be more concerned with the collective. How are they generally, and as individuals, though, living our lives, we're a selfish entity, all right, with a bunch of subjective attachments and preferences and prejudices, and that pollutes our whole perception of how we should function. Because if we were judging ourselves from some higher point, we'd say, well, why didn't that rat do this instead of doing that? Because that would have been in the best interest of all these other rats. But instead, he was a selfish little bastard rat. And so you'd be able to pass judgment. But as players, we're no good at that, because we're selfish bastards. And that's what's really, I think, if human beings are going to get anywhere, if they're ever going to be able to create a sustainable world, they're going to have to get past that stuff. They're going to have to start thinking a little further. Alright, so if you project that basic idea that if there's a broken leg to be had, and one of the 6 of us, or 7, whatever the group is here now, has to have the broken leg, we could do an equation. We could say, well, look, you know, Oxy's got enough trouble, this guy's got enough of this guy's got all of this. You know, we'd find somebody who, you know, doesn't mind being laid up for, you know, 8 or 10 weeks, and it would be the least disruptive and painful for that individual, and that's the way we'd make the choice. You know, or somebody could just volunteer and say, yeah, I'll do it. Just be a nice guy about it. But there is you know, it doesn't really, the point is that we, you know, it wouldn't be any, there's no purpose in making it a selfish decision. If we're going to be productive, or we're going to do the right thing, our decision should be constructive to making the best decision, not just focused based on our internal self-interest. And so the same kind of equation goes to the future. The future is 10 times, 100 times, depending on how long the human race is going to survive, 1,000,000 times more human beings than we are. There's a huge welfare out there in the future. I mean, there's a huge world dependent on us, a world much bigger than us. And yet we as a society have behaved where we have mortgaged that future. We've said, well, we're gonna live on productivity that hasn't been, you know, on work, basically, that hasn't even been done yet. We're going to oblige the future to do some work to pay our bills now, so we can live, you know, we can have an extra TV or an extra car or some other extra thing, and we're going to force somebody in the future to do the work to pay for it. And it's, you know, what kind of psychology is that? It's exactly the opposite of how we should be thinking, because we should know the foundation. We're laying the foundation for the future. And, you know, if we're going to be quicksand, or we're going to be, you know, broken and crumbled, you know, the implications of that selfishness is huge, because there's a huge consequence. It's not just 1 or 2 people that we're screwing over. We could be screwing over thousands or tens of thousands or millions with how we behave and how we vote and how we, you know, interact and do our living thing. But that's really the ball game. The ball game is always going to be the future, because the future is always larger than the present, and the past is quite irrelevant. We can't undo smallpox, we can't undo slavery, we can't undo all the horrors that have already been experienced, but we can prevent the future ones. We can play an instrumental role in preventing huge suffering and mayhem and destruction and horror and whatever good word you have for bad stuff. We can prevent a huge amount of it, or, you know, by our action. We can mitigate against, we can make a better future. It's not even so much preventing, it's we can create a better world tomorrow by sacrificing ourselves. We can even use that word, or it doesn't even have to be a sacrifice. It can just be a moderation of our gluttony. We can, you know, it depends on the terminology you want to use, but the bottom line is even if it was a complete sacrifice, even if we had to you know, contract ourselves into 40 years of being whipped and being slaves and being brutalized, wouldn't it still be a reasonable thing to do? Wouldn't it be the rational thing to do if it would preserve or protect the future, if it would guarantee the future something? And I guess that's another key word I want to get to, is guarantees. Because that's the insidious nature of this life, is that we aren't given these damn guarantees. We aren't allowed to walk the good road, because the good road, there's no yellow brick road. All the roads look the same, sort of, you know, and we're not given any guarantee that, here, if you want to be a good person, just walk this road. It doesn't guarantee that that's going to work. It doesn't, you know, there's no assurance that pressing these 4 buttons will get you the proper result. I mean, it's not a vending machine that works. You can't just see a good life in the window and put your money in and hit the button and the damn thing pops out. It just doesn't work. It's a crappy machine we have to play with, and that's where we need to devote some resources to understanding our psychology and the mythology or methodology of what we constructed, this thing we call a society, and try to figure out if we can make it work better. So there's more of an assurance that if you do the right thing, you play by the rules, and you press that button, that the right thing pops out at the end. So anyway, that's basically just how I want to move the conversation forward. So your thoughts on that? Next time I'll take notes on your videos, so in response videos I'll try to be more specific to the individual videos. But I did listen to them acutely, and I really appreciate it. And so we'll move forward. The end of the video, right about now.